Hello, welcome back. Leafs are back at it against the Ottawa Senators. It's game 17. Now, if anyone watched game 16, you know the Leafs were up 5-1 with 9 seconds to go into the second period. Then it went 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, and then of course they lost in overtime, 6-5. I think they said it was I don't even know, like 284 times the Senators have been down by 4 goals. That's the first time that they've come back to win or something like that. I think that's what they said today. So yeah, quite embarrassing, but you know these things happen, and the Leafs get a little bit of retribution today against the Senators. So let's get right into it. First period, Tavares gets a good chance, but Murray reads it really well. Tavares works hard throughout the entire game. It was a nice little play. Hyman dove and poke checked the puck forward. Tavares split Branson, went to go for the backhand top corner, but Murray, he was ready in case he was going to go 5-hole, and he had his glove there ready for the save. Then I really noticed that the Sens were closing all gaps on Austin Matthews really early in this game. They weren't giving him any room at all. First period still, and bad decisions carry over from the last game in the third period because it's a bad pinch decision by Riley, and it's 2-on-1. Connor Brown, and he goes for the shot, but it's like a half speed shot, just looking for the rebound. Luckily, Freddie's rebound control is really good there. Then, still in the first, Joe Thornton scores after a sick little play by Matthews. He goes up to the blue line, gets to Marner. Marner just drags all of the Senators towards him. I think it was 3, just puck watching. Feeds it down low to Thornton. He had all the time in the world, but he was in very, very deep. But I really liked his poise there. He knew Marner would get him the puck. And it was a quick go to the backhand, come to the forehand. He tried to put it up over Murray's blocker. Murray does make the save. And then Thornton on the rebound shoots the puck, but also gets Murray's pad, and he pushes the pad over. And we think it's a goal. But right away, when you re-look at it, you're like, no, it's no goal. Great hands, great save, but if only. And this isn't the only time Joe Thornton celebrated a little bit too early. Move on to the second period. Spezza gets a nice chance 1 minute in. Murray's solid. Then Brady Tkachuk, he gets on a 2-on-1. Again, nice little stop up, and I think it was Muzzin who made the nice little play. Tkachuk gets another 2-on-1 later in the third period where he stops up and does a little thing like Boyd did, but obviously the other side because he's a lefty. But Anderson makes the save there in that third period. So he gets a couple 2-on-1s this game. Tkachuk all over today, all over. In the second period again, he gets a nice little tip on the puck. He gets another chance. Him and Brown are there, but nice saves by Anderson. Then Joe Thornton scores on a tip from a Brody point shot, but it gets called back as well. It's a high stick. Now, it did hit like the middle of his shaft, but remember, Joe Thornton's like, what, 6'10"? I know he's only like 6'4" or something like that, but it was over the bar, no goal. But not a problem at all, because honestly, it felt like, 3 seconds after, Austin Matthews scores. And I love this. I love it. He was so jacked up after. It was a great little play. It was Muzzin to Hall. Hall waits, and I think it's Shabbat playing D. He knew he was going to Matthews. He tried to take away the passing lane. Matthews just made sure he was open. His stick was up. He's ready for it. Hall could have shot, which I think froze Murray a bit. Feeds it over to Matthews. One-timer, goal, lovely. Matthews celebrating hard. Points at Hall. Great little play. Again, Justin Hall. He's playing phenomenal. So it's 1-0 Leafs. Matthews, his 14th goal of the year. 14-game point streak now as well for him. That line, Thornton, Marner, Matthews, they were dangerous in the second period. They looked really good throughout the game. They generated a ton of chances, each and every one of them. Even when Joe Thornton went to a different line, he was all over the place this game. Jumbo Joe, the rest has helped. So as the period continues, second period continues, both goalies look sharp. Anderson was busier, in my opinion, I think there was higher scoring chances by Ottawa, just from eyesight. I'd have to look at the stats, but can't be bothered to do that. But Anderson does have to make some good saves on Stützle, who is flying tonight. And you can see him gaining more and more confidence when he has the puck. Stops Batherson, he stops Stepan. This is all in the second half of the period. Murray, he made some timely stops for the Senators as well. He looked really good. It's nice to see. One stop on Tavares with the right arm. That was really nice. It was like a high right arm shoulder. Nice save. Willie Nylander, he was stick handling in. He got in close, but he made a nice pad save on him as well. Then I thought, oh no, what's going to happen? The Leafs just they weren't scoring, and they're only up by one, and they don't play well against Ottawa. Unfortunately for them, they take a penalty, holding by Dermott on, I think it was on Josh Norris, with around 3.5 minutes left in the second period, and the Sens make them pay. Also, it just stops the Leafs' momentum. Mikheyev and I think it was Vesey had a little bit of a break. That might have been a penalty in the third, if I can remember. Anyway, the Senators don't score on the power play, but they stopped the Leafs' momentum as they were gaining momentum. They stopped it, and it switched over to the Senators. And then at 1:09, it's Brady Tkachuk. He scores on a lovely backhand feed. I think it was from Tierney. On what do you think? Yes, a 2-on-1. Multiple 2-on-1s for Tkachuk this game. So he drives the net. He scores. Well, I thought he scored anyway. But so the Leafs, they basically closed their eyes on the play. And the Sens took advantage. They just lost their positioning there. And what happens was the only person who was back checking was Matthews. And he worked his ass off to get back. And he did. He got a stick in the lane. The only problem is it hit off his stick, and the momentum of Tkachuk, that puck went in. So Austin Matthews has both goals of the game. I'm not going to fault him for it. He back checks. But just poor decisions and poor timed decisions by the Leafs. And on to the third period, and it's 1-1. In the third period, that was fun. It was good fun. The best shift of the third has to be Thornton, Nylander, and Kerfoot. So another new look line. They just dominated the play. Then Kerfoot goes off, and Matthews replaces him, and they just keep the pressure up. I think they said Gudbranson was out there for like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It was well over 2 minutes of offensive zone pressure. And it was such good pressure that it leads to a power play for the Leafs. The puck movement, the effort, this is the determined Toronto Maple Leafs. This is what they can do when they want it. So Leafs don't score on the power play, but then Thornton is involved. Again, basically, they don't score on the power play, but Thornton's there, and he's causing havoc in front of the net, an exhausted Senators penalty kill. So the Leafs worked him before the penalty. They worked him during the power play. They are exhausted. They're knackered. Hyman makes a good read. It's now 5-on-5. He skates to the bench so a fresh Kerfoot can get on. As he jumps on, there's a shot from the point, and the rebound goes to Kerfoot. Now it's Thornton in front of the net causing havoc, and there's two Senators defense just focusing on him. Kerfoot pulls it through the D and shoots it off Murray's head, off the post and in. It doesn't matter. All goals that go in count, and it's 2-1 Leafs. Such a well-deserved goal. Joe Thornton's in there working his butt off. Great decision by Hyman to change at that time when they have pressure in deep to get a fresh person on after the power play. This is what the Leafs need to do. This is what they can do. And they can do this against many teams in this division and in the league. Then after that, it's the goalies again. Both Freddie and Murray come up big for their teams. There's some well-timed saves. The game finishes with a massive flurry around Freddie, but he and the Leafs survive. And it was just great. Muzzin had like a little turnover there at the end of the game, which wasn't very good, and then he iced it. But he stayed on, and it was retribution for him, and he made sure to block. I think he blocked a shot. I forget who took it at the end of the game. A nice block. He worked hard. He worked hard, man. It was like he played the last 5 minutes. That's how long it felt like he was on the ice. But they needed him on there. They needed to win this game. And they held the lead, and they were able to do it. The Leafs win 2-1 against the Ottawa Senators. and they are now 12, 3, and 2. Next game, Ottawa again. Let's get another win. Use this momentum. Kerfoot has a 4-game point streak now, I think. Just use this momentum of this win and just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. That's it from me. Game 17 now done. The Leafs have 26 points on the season. Phenomenal. This is amazing. Go Leafs, go.